Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast. Got an interesting show for you here today. Going to talk some NFL. I know we've been talking a ton of NBA lately, but it is prime time in the NFL offseason, getting up near the draft, and free agency is officially starting tomorrow, but teams are signing with new teams and making moves already, so definitely wanted to hop on here and talk about that. But before we get started talking about Russell Wilson, the new Man of Steel, if you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. Also, if you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, please give us that like, give us that 5-star review, and leave us a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us, and let's keep in mind, don't forget, put it on your calendar, do whatever you got to do, put an alarm in your phone. Saturday nights at 7 p.m., the Format Podcast is live, and you'll have the opportunity to call in and talk with me directly about whatever the topic is, or sometimes whatever you want. So definitely looking forward to that interaction with you, helping the channel grow and helping the show get better and better for the year 2024. Yeah, let's get right to it. So, in that intro, it was kind of long. Sorry about that. Doing a lot of talking. Got to get the particulars out of the way. But anyway, what did I call Russell Wilson? The new Man of Steel. Why am I calling him that? Because after being officially released from the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that should be interesting. Now, Russell Wilson is a 9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl participant, 1-time Super Bowl champion. And before he got to Denver, he was widely regarded as a guy who was probably going to be a surefire Hall of Famer. Now, two less than exemplary seasons in Denver might have kind of put a damper on that, but he's still a heck of a quarterback, and we'll see what he can do. Now he's in a situation, ironically, which is a lot like the situation where he had a lot of his early success in the NFL. What do I mean by that? When he played in Seattle and became a Super Bowl champion, he was with that defense, the Legion of Boom. And the team was coached by Pete Carroll, a defensive guy, and it was heavily predicated on running the football, playing great defense, and then allowing Russell Wilson to make the plays where they needed to be made, especially in the passing game, a whole lot off the play action with beast mode. And Russell Wilson being one of the best deep ball throwers in the history of the game, him being able to take shots downfield. Now it looks like he's got Mike Tomlin as his head coach in Pittsburgh, a guy who has never had a losing season, I want to say in 17 years, which is absolutely insane, but one of the best coaches in the history of the game. But over the last few years, since the retirement of Big Ben Roethlisberger, he's never had a quarterback that could really help him get over the top. Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett and Duck Hodges. And so now he's got a guy who is a champion, who has all the tools, who knows what it takes to win and has the ability. Or does he still have the ability? Not sure. But it really is interesting, though, that Russell Wilson is going right back into a situation where he can play if he wants to, and his ego doesn't get in the way with this let Russ cook stuff, but he'll be able to play the exact same way that he played when he had the most success. And his new offensive coordinator is going to be Arthur Smith. So if we remember, Arthur Smith even made Ryan Tannehill into a Pro Bowl quarterback in Tennessee. How did he do that? Well, go figure. By running the football, playing good defense. Obviously, Arthur Smith didn't have a lot to do with the playing good defense, but the style was the same. Tennessee tried to play good defense. They ran the football extremely well with Derrick Henry. And then Ryan Tannehill, he made the throws down the field when they were necessary, and they did a whole lot in the passing game. What? Off of the play action. And so Arthur Smith is going to want to do a whole lot of that. And obviously Mike Tomlin being a defensive coach, he's going to love that mindset. Now, Russell Wilson, he's a guy who has the athleticism to extend plays. He's a guy, again, who throws a tremendous deep ball. And now you got some elite targets with Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, so you can really go downfield. He's going to have better targets at the wide receiver in Pittsburgh than he's had in the last 2 years in Denver. And so that's good. So clearly the Denver situation wasn't a fit. Obviously, the first year he had Nathaniel Hackett, who just is not a good coach, plain and simple. Aaron Rodgers made him look a lot better in his NFL career as a coach than he really is. First as an offensive coordinator, and then as a head coach, he was just terrible over his skis. Then we saw last year Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator in New York with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers goes down and he's got no one to hide his deficiencies. Again, terrible. So the guy just is not a good coach. So that was a terrible fit for Russell Wilson in his first season in Denver. The second season in Denver, they bring in former Super Bowl champion Sean Payton, who is widely regarded as a great offensive mind, etc. But you wonder, watching the way he plays and the way he calls games, maybe the game has passed him by. He doesn't seem to have made the necessary adjustments as to the way the game is played now. But we'll see when he gets the quarterback that he likes. Although, quick side note, if you're Sean Payton and you take that job with Denver and you know Russell Wilson is your quarterback and you know he's not your kind of quarterback in terms of the way he plays the game, why would you take that job? Why would you take that job? And now the Broncos are on the hook for, I think, $89 million or $85 million in dead cap space over the next 2 years for literally paying for Russell Wilson to walk away. And so Russell Wilson is going to get a base salary of $1.2 million on a one-year deal with the Steelers. And why? That's the veteran minimum, number one. And number two, because I think he's going to make about $38 million fully guaranteed from the Denver Broncos for them releasing him. So there's that. But yeah, Russell Wilson is now, we're going to see what he's made of, because he's now in the toughest division in football. That's that AFC North, and that's Cincinnati, that's Cleveland, that's Baltimore, and of course Pittsburgh. A division that's extremely physical, a division that gets extremely cold, a division loaded with great defenses and great quarterbacks, and it is a real slugfest in the AFC North. And maybe that's going to remind Russell Wilson of kind of what the NFC West used to be with the Niners and the Seahawks. But the NFC West, as good as it was at its peak, was not this. The AFC North is truly a different animal. So Russell Wilson is there. From the reports that came out, when he met with the Steelers, he and Mike Tomlin seem to really get along well. So we're going to see if that can continue. And the other thing I'm interested in, I don't know if he's going to do it this time. He always comes up with some corny tagline or some corny thing to say when he's at a team. So obviously, he always had some variation of "Go Hawks" when he was in Seattle. Yep, go Hawks. He ended every single interview, "Go Hawks." Yep, Merry Christmas, go Hawks. Yep, thank you, go Hawks. Always had something to say there. And then it was in Denver, it was Broncos country, let's ride. So I'm interested to see if he's going to try to come up with some type of corny tagline or catchphrase for the Steelers, because I don't think they're about that in Pittsburgh. They are blue-collar, hard-working, physical, go out and win football games, and their expectation every single year is to try and win a championship because, well, they've got 6 of those things already, and that's what they're about in Pittsburgh. So this is going to be really interesting to see. I'm so looking forward to this upcoming football season. Russell Wilson is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's see what he does. Looks like a great fit for him to get back to the way he had the most success early in his career. So what I want to know from you is, what do you think of Russell Wilson? Do you think it's a good fit for him to be a Pittsburgh Steeler? How do you think they're going to do this season? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Can't wait to hear from you. And remember, Saturday night at 7 p.m. live show. Can't wait to talk to you. Can't wait for you to tune in. Let's make this show blow. And I'm out. Peace.